Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Start your engines. This year, a decades-long tradition takes over the streets of downtown Detroit once again. The story remains the same. Man and machine versus time. Pushing the limits of possibility until the track pushes back. That's what Indy is all about. We're cranking up the heat on and off the course. Live from the finish line, this is Local 4 News at 5 from the Detroit Grand Prix. And here's Sky 4 giving us a live bird's eye view of the new Detroit Grand Prix track returning to the city streets after 3 decades on Belle Isle. And it has been an exciting thing here to see it back. We've watched this track take shape, and now it's coming to life with the roar of the engines. Good to have you with us with the reborn Detroit Grand Prix. I'm Devin Skillion.
And I'm Kimberly Gill. Thanks for being with us, everybody. We haven't had a race this big on Detroit city streets since the very early 90s. And just let me tell you, it scared me how close they get to the fence here. I've been to the ones on Belle Isle a few times.
Yes.
This is different.
I wish we had video of when we first arrived this afternoon and that first car came around the turn and you jumped.
I thought I was going to have a front row seat to an accident and debris was just going to be flying in all over the place. But it is amazing how close you get and just how fast they are.
And we can feel the vibrations too.
It's crazy.
This right here is the practice runs are going behind us.
That's right. So the route itself taking drivers 1.7 miles and featuring some pretty tight turns, as I just mentioned, with the Renaissance Center as its centerpiece.
Yeah, our great art department created this animation taking you through all 9 turns of the circuit along Jefferson Avenue, along the riverfront, and then crossing the finish line on Rivard. And of course, they're going to hit speeds on that route of up to 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then suddenly slamming on a 90-degree turn.
Let's get out to Bernie Smilovitz with a look at what to expect during this high-octane weekend. Hi there, Bernie.
Kimberly, Devin, could you ask those cars to pull over because I can't hear a thing you're saying? But anyway, what a massive undertaking. Moving this thing from Belle Isle to the streets of Detroit, but they are here. The Grand Prix weekend has arrived. We've got highlights, and the drivers got out today onto the course with their cars, and you have to remember, this is the first time they've actually got a feel of the surface. First time they have tried it out. Scott Dixon won this event in 2018. He sounds like a guy that's very happy to have made the move to the city.
Having the location of where it is, especially around GM Center, and it is Motor City, so it's pretty great to see them incorporate that. Plus, I think having all the local areas downtown that provide different entertainment as well, I think is going to be very, very good.
All right, that's Scott Dixon. We'll have much more on the Grand Prix. We're going to head over there to Jamie Edmonds, who's taking it all in, including the fans' experience of this event. Good evening, Jamie.
Good evening to you, Bernie. I'm with Kimberly. It is so loud. The fans and media people alike are very close to this race. The fans, like I said, are as well, and they're giving us positive reviews on day one. What a beautiful day for racing. The vision of bringing the Grand Prix back to the streets of downtown, now a reality. The fans who came for Free Prix Day seem to be loving the change.
It's really cool. I think it's a lot better than Belle Isle. It's really cool. It's just, you have more space, which is what I like the most. And then it's all the restaurants and things like that. So it's pretty cool.
The Katz family from West Bloomfield easily navigated their way downtown.
We parked up near Little Caesars Arena and took the queue line down Woodward, made our way into the plaza and inside the facility.
So easy.
Very easy.
Mike Howell brought his son Trey today. They, too, didn't run into any hiccups.
We've started to figure out the parking. We figured that out easily, and then now we're headed over to find our seats. And yeah, it actually has been pretty easy. I think might even be easier than Belle Isle was.
The whole setup is pretty darn cool. The racetrack circles the GM Renaissance Center with a brand new dual pit lane, unique to this race. The paddock is near the Riverwalk and the winner's circle, and there are plenty of seats up close and personal to the action. Perfect for the biggest race fans and the littlest.
He wants to see Ferraris and Lamborghinis. So yeah, exactly. What do you think, Trey? Are you excited?
Yeah,
What do you think
What's
about
the coolest thing so far?
the race cars.
And little Trey was getting up close and personal with the race cars. Like I said, so are we. That dual paddock just behind me. I asked the drivers, how are they going to know who's going to pull out and when? They said, we won't, and that'll make it interesting. We're live next to the race course. Jamie Edmonds, Local 4.
Well, that explains it. We watched a couple of close calls down there earlier and thought, well, surely they know. No, they don't. That's
know.
That's part of the craziness about it. All right, great stuff, Jamie. We'll get back to her in just a bit. Obviously, this is all rather weather reliant.
Oh, and the weather out here, you couldn't beat it with a stick. You never know what to expect the first week of June or so, but man, it's gorgeous out here. Let's get Kim Adams in her forecast, Kim.
It is, but I'm wondering if Devin would like me to maybe bring him a polo shirt or something. Like, it just looks so hot out there. And it did hit 90 downtown Detroit today. The first time we've hit 90 since last August. The Grand Prix looks like it will be a tale of two different days. Saturday for the qualifiers, it will be hot once again, much like it was today. But then on Sunday for the actual race, not as hot, with highs only in the low 80s. Still, I mean, warm, but definitely not as warm as it has been today and again tomorrow. I went back and looked at some Grand Prix history. It has rained 7 of the last 10 years. Not much, just a trace last year and a trace the year before, but there was some rain. The coldest Grand Prix was 54. That was back in 2015. And the warmest, 87, back in 2017. Now, we won't be quite that warm for the actual race on Sunday, but definitely temperatures have been in the 80s and even 90 for the qualifiers. 83 degrees at noon tomorrow. We'll reach a high of 87, and then we do cool down just a little bit for Sunday and Monday before we really get back to normal by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Got a little something going on in the Gulf of Mexico. Tropical storm Arlene. We'll talk about that coming up.
Okay, thank you, Kim. And there's a nice little breeze here.
I am very comfortable. You know I love hot weather. If you're not a lizard like me, though, keep in mind as you're coming down, it'll feel warmer than the air temperature around because of the pavement and the hot track. Yeah. We got so much more to come here on the Grand Prix at 5 and 6, but it doesn't end there. We want to invite you to be with us for our special coverage, Grand Premiere, starting tonight at 6:30. That's right. Bernie, Jamie, and Christy McDonald will be live on Local 4 Plus. You'll hear from plenty of drivers, including the winner of last week's Indy 500. And if you haven't downloaded our Local 4 Plus app, you can find it in the same place you find apps like Netflix or Disney Plus, whatever your favorite apps are. Just search WDIV. All right. In other news tonight here at 5, a deadly accident involving a DDOT bus only about a half block away from where we are here at the Grand Prix. Exactly. A woman was run over while trying to cross the street. Sean Lay, live with the questions that investigators are trying to answer right now. Sean.
Lots of questions, Devin and Kimberly. I can show everyone exactly where this happened right here in the middle of downtown. That crosswalk you see right behind me, the woman, she was on a walker. She was in the crosswalk. So the question tonight is, why didn't the DDOT driver who was making a turn see her in the crosswalk?
The bus driver is traumatized. I mean, unfortunately, this was an unfortunate incident down here at this point in time. Just a very tragic situation. Nobody expected it.
A DDOT driver with 26 years behind a bus wheel is off the job tonight and under investigation.
Elderly female hit by a bus.
The question, how did she not see a woman with a walker in this crosswalk in downtown Detroit? The woman took a direct hit from the bus ran over her. She did not survive.
Apparently we have somebody who's fatally injured, so somebody didn't see someone.
It happened as the bus was on Congress turning left onto Griswold at 7:30 this morning. From that view is the Grand Prix grandstand. Was the driver distracted? Did she run a red light? What went wrong? The driver underwent drug and alcohol testing. Security cameras will likely have many of these answers.
We have our fatal squad investigators on the scene. We will be pulling all the camera assets from the various buildings and businesses around here to make a final determination as to what happened.
Just a heartbreaking situation here with the woman in the crosswalk on her walker getting run over. Just awful, guys. But listen, the city of Detroit tonight is putting out a statement offering condolences, full condolences to the family of the life that was lost here.
And at the same time, they're launching an internal review of DDOT practices to make sure what happened doesn't happen again. Back to you.
Well, you're right. That's just terrible. All right, Sean.
Well, a woman in the back of an Uber became the victim of a freeway shooting this morning.
Yep, it happened on I-94 near Livernois in Detroit. The Uber driver, in fact, is the one who called 911. Let's bring in Priya Mann. Priya, I understand troopers basically helped save this woman's life.
Yeah, that's right. Devin, Kimberly, good evening. A trooper applied a tourniquet to the woman's leg, potentially saving her life. She was rushed to the hospital. Police haven't been able to talk to her yet as they try to determine the motive and who pulled the trigger.
It's very scary. It's to the point I don't even like driving on the freeway. If I can avoid it, even though it can happen anywhere, but I try to avoid the freeway if necessary.
A Detroit woman in the back of an Uber was shot several times early Friday morning on I-94 and Livernois.
You have to get to where you need to go, and they have to be concerned as to if you are going to get there safely or not. It's very unsettling.
MSP say the 34-year-old woman picked up an Uber from her home in Detroit around 6 in the morning. When they were on the freeway, police say a dark sedan pulled up and someone started shooting at the passenger side of the vehicle.
We got to figure out, is this something that's related to this woman? Is it something related to this driver? We don't have any indications of road rage or anything like that, so it's something between the suspect and this car.
MSP say they're taking an aggressive approach to stopping gun violence on area freeways.
We established our freeway investigative support team that's out there actually working on this. We put license plate readers on a lot of new areas. You know, we're sharing that information with our partners. Detroit's awesome with their green light camera system, so we're able to solve a great majority.
All lanes of westbound I-94 at Livernois were shut down this morning as police collected shell casings and evidence.
The freeway ain't the place, right? The freeway is not the place that you want to commit these crimes because you're going to get caught.
They can only do what they can do. Hopefully they're doing the best job that they can do to get this person off the street.
Now, that Uber driver was not injured. He is cooperating with police through the use of a translator. All Michigan State Police have to go on right now is that they're looking for a dark sedan. They are actively reviewing camera footage to get a read on that license plate. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Reporting live tonight, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Yeah, okay, Priya, thanks. Well, it was a close call for a Detroit treasure.
Sure was. Security cameras catch taggers in the act, scooting around with spray paint, what they missed that the building owner is so grateful for now. Rod?
Aren't these freshly planted flowers beautiful?
We wanted to help the environment out, and so we want to do our part as much as we can.
But in 92-degree heat, these will wilt pretty quickly. They need water. One local community wants to help you water your plants and flowers inexpensively. We'll show you how.